So Christians in Syria gathering for a Christmas Eve Mass. This is Damascus today as they celebrate their first major holiday since the fall of the Assad regime. They had lots of security, we're told, outside the church with concerns about potential sectarian violence. So that, holiday cheer, if you will, was dampened a bit by a viral video. Look at this, showing a Christmas tree lit on fire in a Christian majority town. So that led to protests in the streets. Officials say foreign fighters have been detained over the incident. This Christmas holiday marks kind of an early test for the new leaders in Syria. They vowed to protect religious freedom. So we'll see. We're joined now by retired four-star General Wesley Clark, the former Supreme Allied Commander. Welcome, General Clark.
Thank you.
How do you see it playing out in Syria? Here's a headline from Reuters about the Syrian rebel factions merging under the defense ministry. The de facto leader, Ahmed al-Sharaa, reaching an agreement with former rebel faction chiefs to dissolve all the groups and then consolidate them under the defense ministry. So they're trying to figure things out. How do you see the next few months going?
I think it's going to be a time of turbulence and uncertainty. Syria is not a country with a single population. They've got the sects, the Christian sect, the Alawite sect, the Sunnis, there's Shia in there. There's lots of different factions. These rebel fighters represent different factions in some cases. And then in the northeast, you have the Syrian Democratic Forces backed by the United States, who are made up of Kurdish forces. Of course, Turkey's involved in this in a very big way. So this is a time where Turkey has an opportunity to realize some of its regional ambitions, both with Syria and impacting on Lebanon. And this is a challenge to other governments in the region, including especially Israel. So there's going to be a lot of foreign fingers in the pie here, is a way to think about this. And including the United States, we have a couple of thousand troops in the region.
But President Trump doesn't believe that they should stay. I mean, he said he doesn't believe U.S. troops should be in Syria. As a matter of fact, his incoming National Security Advisor, Congressman Mike Waltz, said the following. Listen.
President Trump is absolutely right. His mandate overwhelmingly was do not drag us into Middle Eastern wars. We do not need American boots running around Syria in any way, shape, or form. But we're keeping an eye on those things, ISIS, Israel's border, and kind of the broader dynamic with our Gulf allies.
What about that, General Clark, boots on the ground, U.S. boots on the ground in Syria under President Trump?
Well, Mike Waltz is exactly right. No, I don't think any American want U.S. boots on the ground there. On the other hand, as Mike said, you got to keep an eye on ISIS. And we have our Syrian Democratic allies there that are representing the Kurds, and we have a lot of obligations to the Kurds. So I think we ought to, try to get out of there as soon as we can reasonably get out of there. But the question is, when is that, and how do we do it, and what will be the impact? And so there are a lot of questions remaining. Overarching all this, of course, is this question of Iran and what Israel will do about Iran. Iran's uncharacteristically weakened right now. It may be able to get a nuclear weapon in weeks or months. Is Israel going to stand by and let that happen? Or is Israel going to take action? And what's our say in all of that? So there's a lot of major issues confronting Mike Waltz and President Trump as they enter their offices.
To your point about Iran, David Sanger had a piece of the New York Times talking about Trump's approach to Iran, saying it'll confront a more vulnerable but determined Iran. The new reality, it says, has touched off an internal debate about how his administration should approach Tehran, with an openness to negotiations or with an attack on its nuclear enrichment program, overt or covert, or perhaps initiated by Israel. How do you think Trump will approach Iran?
Well, I think you have to approach it as with two tracks. On the one hand, I think you have to go to the Iranian leaders and say, open up. Stop the nuclear business, have more freedom for your people, stop all the terrorism in your jails and so forth, or else give them a choice and then start working to make sure they understand what the choice is. I think Israel sees it a little bit differently, and I think President Trump is going to incline toward the Israeli view, which is we've got a really great opportunity to make sure there's never an Iranian nuclear threat. We're going to use force. We're going to do it. But I don't think the United States should endorse that without first giving the Iranian regime a chance to confess up. Muammar Gaddafi gave up his nuclear facilities, and this is what the Iranian government should do.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.